Integrated sports watches are insanely popular. From the PRX to the Riviera, from the CW12 to the IWC Ingenieur. But I have a new favourite. Venezianico's Arsenale, an incredibly well thought out and finished casing, a beautifully eye-catching dial, and honestly a bracelet that knocks out competition from double the price range. Hi guys, my name is Jason and I am your watch guy today. I am back with Venezianico's latest release. This one's due on the 26th. Yes, that is tomorrow, and it comes in at an incredibly affordable price for this type of quality. This is one that you just have to see. They are linked in the description. Let's get into it. This piece genuinely does not have a bad angle, and trust me, I've pictured it and filmed it from each and every one, and one to the next, it's just as beautiful. The most striking part of the watch is probably the violet dial. The Cotes de Genève finishing to this dial is just absolutely spectacular, and not really something that I've seen on the market yet. This finishing is synonymous with high-end watchmaking and the finishing of movements. Applied here, it gives a captivating view with a very classic inspiration and really does make those skeletonized hands pop. It can be really easy to be drawn in by this dial and almost obsessed by it, especially with the intricacies around it, the high polished finishing to those baton indices and the almost floating Venezianico logo at the 12 o'clock. However, once you get past that dial, you can see the innovation and the excellence around the casing. This ultra thin 8.9mm case has a fantastic profile to it, beautiful angles, and it's all finished impeccably well. It just absolutely oozes elegance. Venezianico have seriously outdone themselves with this release, and with the knowledge that it took them 2 years of development, you can really tell that they wanted to get this one absolutely perfect. And I think for the price range of around 800 euros, this is as close as they could come. This is obviously an expression of how far this brand has come over the years. From that fledgling Kickstarter campaign to the models that they produce now, the worlds are completely apart. The namesake of this piece is the Venice Arsenale. I really hope I am saying that right. If not, I'm sure you can excuse the accent. It was a place famed for the innovation of industry, and for me, that's exactly what this watch represents to Venezianico. They are really becoming one of the powerhouse brands on the market. Every time I get sent a piece, I am more and more enticed by them, and it makes me more and more excited to see what they're gonna come up with next. But honestly, this one just absolutely blew me away as soon as I opened the box. The new Canova concept bracelet is really something that makes the fit of this watch just absolutely perfect for me. And that's not something that I often say for watches with a butterfly clasp. It carries that beautiful finish throughout. The angles are really subtle, but they're also really beautifully highlighted with the breaks in brushing and polished finishes between the links and along the chamfered edges. And it's really hard for me to believe that there is actually a Miyota 9029 movement packed away in the back of this watch. One of the really intricate parts of this piece for me is actually the fixed bezel, the tiny little tooth-like edging, and the angled high polished center that points up towards that sapphire crystal is just absolutely sublime, and not really something that you see in other models. Again, the highlight to that polishing is absolutely brilliant. It's almost a mirror finish. It overhangs the beautifully brushed finish upper casing, which comes in at a really nice universal 40mm in diameter. Along with that, the profile stretches a mere 44mm, which I'm sure we can all appreciate now would be an ideal fit for plenty of wearers. There's a large angled chamfered edge along the profile of this watch, and it really does distinguish the piece beautifully. Separating the brushed finish on the upper casing and the side profiles, The brushing on that side profile flows beautifully into the crown guards, which protect this really ornate yet incredible crown that I've come to really enjoy from Venezianico. It really does scream Italian design to me. The crown is screwed down and you may expect a slightly better water resistance from this one. It does come in at only 50 meters. At the point of 100 meters, it's something that you can't complain about. I guess there'll be a few around this one though. The sapphire crystal does an incredible job of keeping this dial very visible in all angles of light, which I am really grateful for because that is the obvious showpiece to this watch. The case back is screwed into the casing at 6 different points and is arguably just as well finished as the rest of the watch, with the usual specifications around the outer edge of that case back. The real beauty of it, as in so many other Venezianico pieces, is the depiction in the center. This time around we have a depiction of the 2 towers of the Arsenale with a bridge gapping the canal. And I think that's a really nice sentiment to this piece because it really shows where Venezianico came from and where they're heading. Now I know I've mentioned this dial plenty, but let's really get involved with it. It has a multitude of faces to it, and that is very much down to the finishing of the dial. You can hit it in many different angles of light and get a completely different reaction, but all just as beautiful as the rest. The applied indices are highly polished throughout, and they follow that logo at the 12 o'clock with an almost floating presence on the dial. Around the outer edge we have a printed minute track, and that is followed by the print of Venezianico at 6 o'clock, and I'm really grateful that they have done that at the 6 o'clock because it means that none of the beauty of this dial is obscured and it's the perfect choice for me. The handset is something that I haven't seen on any of their pieces before, and I'm pretty confident in saying that it is built just for this Arsenale, and it is absolutely incredible. We don't have a loom shot or any fill in the center of this handset, but the skeletonized aspect to it brings this dial to a whole new level. Catching glimpses of the Coach de Genève finish in between is just an added bit of beauty for me, and it fits in really well with the batons around the dial. Something that I think is incredibly important in an integrated sports piece is obviously the bracelet, but that is often overlooked by a lot of the bigger brands. That being said, they've done an impeccable job of this one. Strangely enough, I can appreciate this bracelet just as much as I can appreciate the casing. It looks like there's just as much work gone into both, and that is exactly what you should be doing if you are going to create an integrated bracelet piece. There are screw points to the lugs, and there will be a rubber band available for this piece, and I think that will be the perfect accompaniment to the sports watch. The bracelet, however, matches that casing perfectly with the chamfered angles to the side, the little strips of polish on the inner links, and that beautiful brushing throughout. The Venezianico logo bridges each side of this butterfly clasp, much like you'd see on a Nautilus, dare I say. I think overall it completes that bracelet, and this bracelet completes this watch. I've had to think long and hard for the downsides of this piece. When you consider at 800 euros, it plays at the same type of price range as a PRX Powermatic 80. And then you consider the difference in the finishing, the application of the techniques, and the overall excellence of each piece. The Arsenale blows the PRX out of the water every single time. It absolutely takes it and it's better. Honestly, if you take the Swiss badge off that Tissot, the Arsenale absolutely dwarfs it in every way. To me, this is more compatible to the Christopher Ward 12, and we all know how much I absolutely loved that watch. And it is that bit cheaper where it's more accessible in the market. But dare I say it, I think the casing and the finishing, and maybe the dial design, is just as good, if not better. I'll be honest, I wish I had a little bit more water resistance, because honestly it'd just be a clean sweep for me on this. Otherwise, it's an incredible watch. It is going to sell out, there is no doubt about that. Between you and me, and please don't tell Venezianico this, but I don't know why they keep sending me them, because you guys are going to go out and buy them anyway. Make sure you are signed up for the first batch of these, because they're going to go quickly, and I hope to see a lot of you with them on your wrists. Treat yourself to a little bit of Italian brilliance. Thanks for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing Venezianico's latest Arsenale in the metal, because I have really enjoyed wearing it. I've really enjoyed reviewing it, and this is one that's going to stay in my collection for a long time, probably until they come along again and go, Jason, it's been another 2 years and we have absolutely destroyed everything that you thought we can do. Thank you to them for sending it in. Thank you to you for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel and make sure you are on board for this release.